Hello and welcome to today's vlog where I am not sure what I'm going to be doing yet. I know that it's going to have something to do with writing, but I need to figure out what exactly that will be. I've got my fancy drink. I have a fun, interesting thing that's happening I have two different keyboards. They're both malfunctioning in different ways, so that's extremely fun. But what it might do is give me an excuse to buy a really, really beautiful new keyboard. However, the keyboards that I do have currently are beautiful and were not inexpensive. However, they're just not holding up very well. This one, this lovely green one, is typing in random extra letters that I don't need. Like every word has at least 3 extra letters. That's bare minimum, 3 extra letters. And my other keyboard, which is like this except pink, some of the keys aren't working and I can't get them to work, so it's completely useless. So yes, I'm dealing with that. I might have to not type on my fancy desktop to do my writing. I might have to pop out my laptop and do writing on my laptop because that keyboard does work. So here's what I might do. Here's what's the toss up. I might revise the opening chapters of my Renfest novel. I might revise my query letter for my unpublishable book. I might work some on my fantasy novel simply because I have some scenes that are stuck in my head that I keep playing on repeat in my imagination that I just really want to get out so I can read them and enjoy them for myself because that's why we write, isn't it? But anyway, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, so let me maybe sit with it for a minute. It might be wise to do what Brielle, I don't know actually her handle. It might be wise to do what Brielle does, which is she does a little pre-writing reading and then writes out what she's going to work on. So maybe I will do that. Although I have a confession to make. I don't. Okay. I have so little time to myself to be doing things that I very, very rarely do I actually read. I just finished an audiobook because I can listen while I'm putting my little one to sleep. So over the course of like 3 nights of putting an audiobook on and letting my little girl go to sleep, I was able to read a new book. I don't enjoy audiobooks though. I'd much prefer to read. And I just don't have time to read. Anyways, what I'm going to do for my query letter, the reason I even picked up that other audiobook to read, is I feel like where my query is really alienating people is my comp titles. I think my comp titles are not good, perhaps even very bad. Um, so that's why I'm trying to find modern comps that I think would do a service to my query letter. But it's hard because that means I have to read the books. Because as much as it's tempting to be like reading the synopsis of a book that you feel like, oh, well, its synopsis matches my vibes, you really can't do that because what if the book is completely different tonally, even thematically from your book? Then why are you comping it? So, yes, I've got to revisit my comps and figure out new ones. So yeah, give me a moment. I'm gonna sit here by myself, figure out what I'm going to do. Wish me luck. Okay, I've pulled up my query letter. It's not the one I've been submitting, it is the one I am currently working on, which the draft includes like past versions of the query letters. let me run down a list of comp titles that I've chosen, just over time. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, The Basketball Diaries, Push, Boy Swallows Universe, The Prettiest Star. All of these, well, save for The Prettiest Star perhaps, are wildly successful books. Oh, I also did The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Wildly successful books. Many of them are very old. And both of those things were listed as like the top 2 red flags by this literary agent on a podcast that I just listened to. If it's too old, if it's too successful, she's like, I don't want anything to do with it. So I've done a really good job picking the worst comp titles I possibly could, apparently. That's why I have been trying to find recent examples of literary novels that I feel would be a good fit to comp this book, but that are not too popular, that are not too successful, like they haven't been made into a movie or a TV show, for one. But still, they have to be like good, they have to be popular enough that people have read them. So I'm just gonna keep trying to find the magic, perfect comp titles. But having looked over this query letter and felt like I don't even know where to start, I think I'm not gonna work on it today. I will just keep reading, listening to audiobooks, trying to find good comp titles, and once I've got those locked in, I will revisit the query top to bottom. So for today, moving on from the query, which of course just means I need to figure out now what I'm going to write. Am I going to write my Renfest book edits, or am I going to write brand new scenes in my fantasy book? I don't know. I don't know what my mood is. Okay, counterpoint to being productive. See, I know what I'm doing. I'm getting sidetracked, but disguising it as productivity. But this is pretty cool. So, in one of my friend Haven Steele's YouTube videos, she mentioned this website called Ellipsis, which is pretty cool at a glance. And I've now gotten down a rabbit hole of their templates. And this template I'm looking at right now is fictional religion and deity template. And this will be good for my fantasy novel because I am working on a fantasy novel that I wrote when I was 15 years old, and it was terrible, and it was in a diary, and it was like awful. But I really like the story, I like the characters, and in subsequent drafts and outlines of this book, I added a religious god element to it. So now I need to like fill in a lot of blanks. So this will be very helpful. But I am not going to allow myself to actually get sidetracked into this. I am just happy to know that it exists. And I want to thank Haven for shouting out Ellipsis in her video, because I can see that this is going to be an incredibly helpful tool. I also like that it seems to be a thing where you can edit online and on your mobile, which is very nice because I like the ability to do that, and I want to stay away from Google Docs because now they're like partnering with the AI and like skimming your writing from Google Docs apparently to teach AI, and I'm not about that at all. So yeah, thank you for the potential alternative, and I'll keep investigating and seeing what I think about it on a different day. For now, I'm going to do some kind of writing or editing. What does my heart want? Here's what I'll do. I'll do a writing sprint for my fantasy. And if I'm not locking in, I'll do edits of my Renfest novel. But if I'm locked in, I'll just keep trucking away at that. Sometimes you just got to do what your heart wants to do, and that's what my heart wants to do. So that's the plan. Yeah, I've given it an attempt to type on this keyboard. Let me show you what it's doing. This. Impossible. So I will be grabbing my laptop and typing on that. I'm kind of not too mad about it though, because this way I will have my laptop in front of me, and then on the monitor behind it, I will have my notes on the scene and stuff from my Notion, which is quite nice actually. But yeah, let me get set up on my laptop. It just doesn't have the satisfying click. Oh well. Okay, it's been about 2 hours. I've written 2,191 words, and I finished the scene that comes before the scene that I really wanted to write, but I am better about making myself write into scenes than jumping around. If I let myself jump around from scene to scene, or like I really want the scene at the end of the book, I will not have a book at the end of the day. So I like to write in order for my own benefit. And so, yes, I got that accomplished on my fantasy novel. And I think that's good for today. I'm going to go check in with my family, see how they're doing. I'm going to get in a workout in a little bit. And yeah, okay. I will I will see you guys all next time. It's the end of the day. I've done my workout and I'm now going on a sunset walk and I just wanted to show you guys the sunset. Hold on, we can do that in